Is now we're in the Dream Masters Arena, and we're going to have a United Kingdom Championship as Walter. Actually, this is a match that is on tonight, but not under the rules this will be under. This is an Ironman match, folks, so we're going to get a clear-cut winner in this one. So whoever has the most falls in about 15 minutes or so will be declared the United Kingdom Championship. And we see the clock right there as Walter and Pete meet up as Walter slams Pete to the ground. This should be a pretty even match, folks. Pete's pretty tough, though, leader of the British Strong Style. Walter is a world-renowned monster of a man from all the way in Austria. And he is quite a legacy for himself. And Pete Dunne is the longest reigning champion of any type on any show of any company, as he has now held the title for about 3 or 4 years now. So good for him. So, but I don't know if necessarily Pete Dunne has met anybody the caliber of one Walter, who is a devastating, as you can see, a mountain of a man, really. As Walter takes down Dunne and the referee and the morons who try to talk over me. Don't pay any mind to them, by the way. They are mostly wrong about 80% of the time, and quite frankly, I would rather have listened to Renee Young, Alexa Bliss, and some other person on the commentary, because at least they don't drive me crazy. I think Michael Cole has been far too long in there, and I can't stand him. It had nothing to do with his little gimmick back in the day. It's just he's obnoxious, and I'm not a fan. And Corey Graves, and I'm sorry for you guys who like Corey Graves, but I don't see it. I think he's a snobby little punk. I think that, you know, a lot of the time he's very one-sided like that of the old time, except for he is a little bit more blinded. Which is why I love it when guys go out there. Which is crazy because, you know, Corey Graves isn't as old as people like Bobby Heenan was in that role before him. But I can tell you this, he's right up there with JBL as far as obnoxious goes. I would much rather see Taz in commentary. Taz was a very underrated, well, he was an underrated wrestler too, but he was a very underrated announcer too. I think he did a really decent job, and I am very happy to listen to his podcast, which is fantastic, by the way. So check out that podcast if you haven't yet. What is this?
He's making a statement here with this attack.
Velveteen Dreams music is hitting. I wonder what this is all about, as Walter is distracted to see what the heck Velveteen... Oh, wait a minute, there's Velveteen Dream! Velveteen Dream from behind, as Pete Dunne goes for the pin.
Bringing back up Pete Dunne's penchant for intimidation.
And he gets the first pin.
During his entrance.
Walter, give the assist to Velveteen Dream on Walter. And that's one for Pete Dunne.
We're excited for the opportunity and happy to be in front of an English crowd. The Bruiserweight showed everyone.
As Walter goes for the pin of his own now. Kicks out at 1. Walter's not impressed, I don't think. And as he goes for a side headlock, evenly applied. So, in case you guys are wondering what's in store later on tonight, I thought what I'd do is kind of run down some of the card for tonight, which is something we sometimes do. So, again, if you're just seeing this match now, you missed the last one, go back and watch the other one. As Walter now picks up a fall on Pete Dunne, it is now tied at 1-1. Sorry. But usually we kind of like to surprise you guys, but, you know, with something so big as Epic Random Palooza and the fact that we kind of have to do something a little different this year today in splitting it kind of in half. And by us doing that, you know, kind of makes a long day for me, but that's okay because I would much rather, as a person in the wrestling business, I am much used to working on very little sleep and being just as spot on and spontaneous. You don't become a YouTube or any other type of an icon by sitting back and doing nothing. So Walter goes for another pin. Pete kicks out at 2. But let me just go down the card for tonight's show. This is not going to be the rest of the show. Last night you saw some stuff. Like tonight, I'm going to tell you what you're going to see when you come back. No particular order, by the way. Although I can tell you about our main event. Our main event, we're tweaking things a little bit. I think that, you know, Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch should be in the main event. I do not necessarily think that Charlotte needs to be there. So neither does anybody else in the Dream Masters or the Women Warriors agree that it should be the one-on-one we've been wanting, not just some flaky three-way dance. So Charlotte has her own things going on tonight, but as of tonight, Becky Lynch will be challenging Ronda Rousey for the Raw title one-on-one here tonight. And if you wonder what kind of a match that's going to be, it is going to be a last woman standing match, folks. Yep, that means there's no rules. There is no pinfalls. There's no submissions. You basically knock the best, toughest woman will win between the two. Of course, you guys know that, you know, Becky Lynch is part of the Page Turners. And those of you guys who watched last night saw the altercation. As Walter goes for another pin at 2. But anyway, like I was saying, but if you saw that show last night, you had seen that the leader of the 4-horse UFC women and the leader of the Page Turners had issues in the backstage as Bethany Page laid out the current Raw Women's Champion. Don't think that's over by any sort, and this weekend you'll see plenty, and I'm sure you may even see some tonight. You never know. Walter goes for another pin on Pete, as this is currently tied at 1-1. And Walter has been pummeling Pete now for the last maybe 4 minutes. And let's not forget the only reason Pete Dunne got the first fall is because the Velveteen Dream came in to run in and attack Walter. For what reason, we don't know. But I'm sure we can find out at some point, as Pete now is on the offensive, as he stomps away on the large Walter. But Walter, just like that, he brushes him off like a fly with a back body drop, which is probably like falling off the top of the building. That's going to be 2 falls, folks, for Walter. Pete's having some oh, wait a minute. Nice DDT there by Pete Dunne. Gets the shoulder up this Walter. He's been around the block, folks. Just because you guys have never heard of him, until maybe recently, doesn't mean he's been around. He's never been around. He's been around, trust me. As Pete now goes for a pin. And now he ties it right back up. We're back to square one again. It is now tied 2-2. And Walter now with a sleeper hold. That'd be something. Oh my, a hell of a sleeper hold. Yeah, I remember the last time I saw someone tap the sleeper hold. Yeah. Walter lets go. I don't know why. I probably would have let it on a little longer, but Walter probably knows better than me, I guess. As the king of British Strong Style is beating on Walter. Walter puts on the brakes right there. And a nice shoulder block that takes Pete Dunne down and almost through the ropes. Another pin. A 3 count. And Walter now is ahead by 1. You know, I got to tell you, I don't remember the last time I saw someone lose to a shoulder block. That must have been a hell of a shoulder block for someone with strong style to get pinned out by it. He probably got the wind knocked out of him, because that often happens. But I guess what surprises me is that someone who is the king of strong style of any kind would not be conditioned enough to realize not to get winded, as Walter is stomping on these smaller, long long title holder, longest reign title holder in history of wrestling. Oh, WWE anyway. As Pete with a right hand rocks Walter. Uh-oh. And Pete takes him down again. All right, folks. Now we're tied again as Pete Dunne has tied that up. And he's going for another quick pin. It's a 2 count. Pete tried to get a roll up there. And Walter repaid him by almost taking his head off and hitting the woman in the 3rd row. Who apparently they all came in together as they're all wearing green. And with that clothesline, he got another fall, did Walter. So Walter again is ahead by 1. Pete with a running knee on Walter. Walter's helped up by Pete. That was nice of him. And Pete now throws Walter all the way to the outside of the Dream Masters Arena floor. Pete now decides maybe let's just send this in the ring, maybe. And they're back into the ring again as Pete now is on the offensive, but Walter with a nice elbow to the gut. Oh, this won't be good. Walter, oh, what a jackknife type power bomb on the King of British Strong Style. If he gets this, he'll be up by 2. And he does. He is now up by 2 as Walter, as Pete gets a right hand, but only goes to a knee. Walter sent to the corner. Pete comes in behind with a splash. Pete might be sized. Uh-oh. Walter puts the brakes on. Nice takedown. Oh, no. And a Boston Crab, huh? Who knew something from Boston was going to make it all the way to Austria? As Walter lets go again. And Walter gives him another one of those clotheslines and almost hits the woman in the 19th row. And that's going to be another fall. That's now he's up by 3 to 2. Walter. As Walter now, it's a German suplex there by Walter. Austria and Germany aren't too far away from each other, actually. And Walter going for that powerbomb again. He does. And slams Pete and drags him to the center of the ring. Very smart. Because remember, rope breaks and such. Now he's up by 4. If Pete can get more falls in 2 minutes and 4 seconds to tie and break that, he is going to be the toughest bastard ever. As Pete now throws Walter over the top. If I was Pete, I'd stay in the ring and see if we can get at least a count out. Imagine if they both get counted out. That would be embarrassing. As Walter picks him up over his shoulder and introduces Pete Dunne's face into the top of the ring apron. And a right hand by Walter rocks Pete, but does not put him on the ground. Uh-oh. Well, that was nice of Walter. He threw him back into the ring. That was nice of him. But Pete, unfortunately, didn't have the wherewithal to stay in, and now he's thrown back in the ring. And here comes Walter. Right after him. Pete has gone through hell here, folks. I think this might be one of the toughest challenges he has had to date. As Walter is pummeling the champion. He is up by 3 falls, I think. I lost count after the 3rd, actually. But, oh, big foot up into the face of Pete Dunne. I think I saw a tooth hit the guy down in the 1st row with the beer can. And I was giving the guy got another beer. That's nice of him. Walter drags Pete to the corner of the middle of the ring. That's a 2 count. Pete's not going away just yet. As he goes for, and Pete's helped up by Walter. Little staggery on the feet. Pete now sitting in the corner again.
Both these superstars appear to be operating on fumes here, guys. He's looking at it.
Walter now throws Pete to the other side of the ring. Oh!
This might be it. Oh my!
You know what? For a guy to hit a drop kick like that, and that's it, folks. To be honest with you folks, I apologize, but I did not keep count of the clock.
And this one was no exception. Here's another look.
Because quite frankly, the action is really in the ring, not necessarily the clock. But I did happen to glance up here and there. But you see some of this action earlier. I guess if it wasn't for Velveteen Dream in the beginning of this contest, he probably, you know, would only have one fall, really, or two. Because I think it was the final, I believe the final count was 5 Walter and 3 Peter. So, which, by the way, if you ever watch our show, that's probably one of the most evenly matched Ironman matches. Usually, and there it is. We see it. We see the coronation as Walter puts the fear of God into the poor referee, who's like, "I'm out of here."
Michael, that's a win that says, "Hey, and everybody, look
well,
at me."
The arena is still buzzing
just
over
because
that
Pete
match.
Dunne might have lost the title in NXT doesn't mean he's all done, folks. Remember that. And I'm sure that's not the last time we're going to see Pete Dunne and Walter. But anyway, folks, it has been a pleasure being with you today. When we come back later tonight, I'm going to let you know right now, we're going to kick it off with a real Giants Battle Royal. You think about what that means, and when I see you back later on tonight, you will see the Real Giants Battle Royal kick things off in the second half, and then we're going to go right through the other 12 matches. Stick around, folks. More action coming later on. Hope you enjoyed, and more coming. Again, you're watching day 2 of 4 of Random Epic Palooza. Epic Random Palooza 4, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around. We'll see you later on tonight. As of now, I am Jazz Vengeance telling you, you be back, or else you will get jazzed by vengeance. Don't be afraid, be terrified. You really should